Patterson calling him Cassius Clay. Well, Muhammad said, my name is Muhammad Ali. I've been given the name of Muhammad Ali. The least they should do is call me by the name I want to be called by.
Angelo Dundee said that. Floyd Patterson heard it and didn't care. November 22nd, 1965, the Las Vegas Convention Center. These two men had spent months dismantling each other in the press, and now there was nowhere left to go but the ring. Floyd Patterson was not a man you could dismiss. He won the world heavyweight title at 21, the youngest man in history to do it at that point. After losing it to Ingemar Johansson, he became the first man who ever won it back. 2 reigns, an Olympic gold medal, and a decade spent at the top of the sport. By 1965, Floyd Patterson was one of the most credible fighters the heavyweight division had produced. Muhammad Ali had taken the title from Sonny Liston in February 1964 and almost immediately changed his name. He called Cassius Clay a slave name, something handed down through generations of bondage that he had no intention of carrying further. I am Muhammad Ali, he said, a free name. It means beloved of God, and I insist people use it when they speak to me.
Why don't you like to be called Clay anymore?
No, Clay was not my name. It was a slave name. I'm no longer a slave, so now I'm Muhammad Ali.
Patterson heard all of that and decided to answer it in print, twice. He wrote for Sports Illustrated on 2 occasions, and neither piece was subtle. He called him Cassius Clay in every interview, every press conference, every public statement, never once Muhammad Ali. The name refusal was deliberate. Patterson made no attempt to disguise it. He said publicly that he intended to bring the title back to America, as though Ali were a foreign presence in his own country. Ali's response came immediately. He delivered a crate of carrots to Patterson's training camp and started calling him the Rabbit in every press conference. Patterson says he's going to bring the title back to America, Ali told reporters. If you don't believe the title is already in America, just see who I pay taxes to. He told the press he planned to punish Patterson, not just beat him, and that the punishment would last as long as Patterson refused to say his name. What made Patterson's refusal sting more than it otherwise might have was the climate Ali was already navigating. His conversion to Islam had cost him endorsements, media goodwill, and a significant portion of the American public. Most of the country had not accepted the name change. Sports writers still filed copy calling him Clay. Broadcasters still announced him as Clay. Patterson was not an outlier. He was a reflection of the majority. Ali had spent 18 months asking people to call him by his name. 18 months of corrections, of press conferences where the first question used the wrong name, of introductions by ring announcers who ignored it. When he said he was going to punish Floyd Patterson, the crowd in Las Vegas understood he meant that in a very specific way. Not a knockout, a lesson. The fight itself was scheduled for 15 rounds. From the opening bell, it was immediately clear that Patterson was carrying something into the ring that would work against him. A ruptured sacroiliac joint in his lower back, aggravated in training, that he had said nothing about publicly. Within the first 2 rounds, the way he moved made it impossible to hide. His normally sharp lateral movement was gone. Ali used the jab surgically. Patterson was a good defensive fighter with fast hands, but he needed to move to set up his counters, and the back wouldn't let him move freely enough. Every time he tried to get inside, Ali tied him up or stepped to the side. The crowd could see what was happening before Patterson's corner could do anything about it. By the middle rounds, Patterson's face had started to show the accumulation. Ali was landing the jab at will. Not hard, not finishing punches, but scoring punches, humiliating punches. Commentators at ringside began describing it as one of the most uncomfortable things they had seen. Patterson kept coming forward because he had no other option. Ali kept not finishing it because he had chosen not to. There was a point in the 7th round where Ali had Patterson hurt. A genuine finish was available. Referee Harry Krause was positioned to step in. Ali walked away, circled, and let Patterson recover, the crowd booing as he did it, then looked at Krause as if to say he wasn't finished yet. This was not a man trying to end the fight. This was a man conducting one. What followed over the next 4 rounds was genuinely painful to watch. Patterson had the heart to keep coming. He always had that, but Ali had made the ring into something close to a classroom. He could not land cleanly enough to change what was happening. The crowd, which had arrived expecting a competitive fight, had gone quiet in a way that said everything about what they were witnessing. At some point in the 12th round, Ali started asking the question out loud. "What's my name?" He said it between punches. Patterson, bleeding and exhausted, said nothing back. Ali asked again. Patterson kept his guard up and kept walking forward. It was the same dynamic that would play out 2 years later against Ernie Terrell, but here it carried a different weight, because Patterson, unlike Terrell, was not being belligerent. He was being stubborn about something he genuinely believed in. Referee Harry Krause stopped it in the 12th round. Patterson had not been knocked down. Krause simply decided there was no point in allowing it to continue. He stood in the corner without a word, while Ali walked to the center of the ring. The arena understood that what had just happened was not simply a title defense.
Krause stops the fight. 2 minutes.
In the post-fight interview, Ali was asked whether he had deliberately extended the fight. He didn't deny it. He said Patterson had disrespected him and that the punishment had been the point. Patterson, for his part, said he had no regrets about calling him Clay. He said he still believed what he had written in Sports Illustrated. 7 years passed. Ali was stripped of his title in 1967 after refusing military induction. He was banned from boxing for 3.5 years during what should have been the prime of his career. When the ban was lifted, he fought his way back. Jerry Quarry in Atlanta, Oscar Bonavena in New York, then the first Frazier fight at Madison Square Garden, where he suffered the first loss of his professional career. Patterson had continued fighting through all of it. He lost to Jimmy Ellis, lost to Jerry Quarry, rebuilt his record against less prominent opposition. By 1972, he was 37 years old and coming off a win over Charlie Green. Nobody considered him a serious title contender, but the rematch with Ali had been discussed for years, and Madison Square Garden made it happen. September 20th, 1972, Madison Square Garden, New York. Ali was the former champion, working toward a rematch with Joe Frazier. Patterson was the challenger nobody expected to win. The question the crowd came with was not who would win, it was how long it would last and whether the name would come up again. The early rounds were a different fight than 1965. Ali was 7 years older. His legs had changed. 3.5-year absence had taken something from the footwork that had never fully returned. He was a more stationary fighter now, smarter one, but not the same one. For Patterson, 7 years had brought similar change, but the back problem that had wrecked the first fight was no longer the story. Patterson moved well and made it competitive in the middle rounds. He landed combinations that would not have reached Ali in 1965, and the crowd at the Garden responded to it. Ali worked behind the jab and used the ropes more than in the first fight, leaning, absorbing, redirecting. There was enough left in Patterson to make it look like a real fight, which was more than most people had expected from him. In the 6th round, a punch caught Patterson above the left eye, and the swelling began immediately.
Patterson's left eye is swollen. Patterson is in trouble, but missed. Coming at Patterson. His left eye is red. It is fiery red, but he is dead game.
By the end of the round, it had already started to close. Patterson's corner worked on it between rounds, while ringside physician Dr. Harry Kleiman monitored from outside. Patterson told his corner he could still see well enough. His corner chose to believe him. Round 7 was the last round Floyd Patterson ever fought as a professional. Ali went to work on the eye from the opening seconds. Patterson covered, moved, tried to keep enough distance to survive the round. The eye was closing faster than the round was moving. When the bell rang, Patterson walked back to his corner, sat down on the stool, and told his team he was fine. Physician Ferdy Kleiman looked at the eye and stepped back. Mercante came over.
Are they going to? No, they're stopping the fight. Patterson doesn't want it stopped, but they're right, they're stopping it for the protection of the lad himself. I'll be going up into the ring to have a talk with the winner, Muhammad Ali, and hopefully with the loser, Floyd Patterson.
Patterson stood up from the stool. He told his corner he could still see well enough to fight. Mercante looked at Kleiman, looked at the eye, and waved it off before Patterson's feet had carried him 2 steps toward the center of the ring. Patterson left Madison Square Garden that night with his left eye sealed completely shut. He never fought again, though he never said so. No announcement, no press conference, no final statement. The career of the youngest man ever to win the heavyweight title simply ended in a corner at the Garden, a physician's decision standing in place of a final bell. Ali had said in 1965 that he was going to punish the man who refused to use his name. 2 fights, and 7 years later, Patterson finally called him Muhammad Ali. Ali never asked him to do it again after that. There was nothing left to ask. 2 fights, 7 years, 2 stoppages. Patterson had eventually learned to call the man in front of him Muhammad Ali. Ali had always known who Floyd Patterson was.